This is Valley News Live at 10.
Welcome to Valley News Live at 10. I'm Justin Betty.
And I'm Stacey Van Dyke. With abortion remaining a hot topic across the country, today Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison took a tour of the new Red River Women's Clinic in Moorhead.
Now, our cameras weren't allowed inside, in part because Wednesdays are the days when they can perform abortions there. But during a news conference afterward, Ellison touched on why he is taking a stand on this hot-button issue.
Valley News Team's Nishay Taylor has more.
Attorney General Keith Ellison stopped in Moorhead to hear the concerns of the citizens, including the protection of individual rights.
Well, people want to make sure that they have a right to choose.
The overturning of Roe versus Wade has now left it up to states to decide if abortion should be legal. Ellison has been a strong advocate for having abortions be a personal choice.
I believe women have a right to choose, and I'm not saying they should choose abortion or not. It's up to them.
The Red River Women's Clinic was North Dakota's only abortion provider. Following the ruling, the clinic moved across the river to Moorhead to ensure services were still available for those wanting an abortion.
Minnesota is really sort of an island in the Midwest. North and South Dakota, Iowa, even Wisconsin are sort of not available to people the way they were.
Ellison says he will protect anyone who may be prosecuted for visiting Minnesota to get an abortion.
I will file motions in those states to have those cases dismissed, because people have a right to travel to Minnesota and they have a right to get an abortion in Minnesota.
The Red River Women's Clinic has seen backlash from those who do not agree with abortions, including threats against those visiting the clinic. The Attorney General says those issuing those threats should be prosecuted to the fullest extent.
We absolutely have to condemn the violence. If you have a point of view that is different, then that's your right as an American to have your First Amendment viewpoint, but you cannot push that point of view with violence.
Ellison says now his office will continue to fight for the rights of the citizens.
It's not up to some politician, and I just think that this Dodd decision was absolutely wrong. It was an affront to the basic liberties of our country, and we have to follow the law, but we don't have to like it, and we're going to do all we can.
In Moorhead, Nishay Taylor, Valley News Live.
Now, Ellison's opponent in November is Republican Jim Schultz. He's anti-abortion, but says that shouldn't be a campaign issue.
He says Minnesotans should instead be focused on crime.
See on Minneapolis streets, on streets in greater Minnesota and elsewhere, extraordinary crime, unprecedented increase in our state's history.
Ellison's 2018 win marked the first time a black candidate has won a statewide race in Minnesota. If Schultz wins, he would be the first Republican AG in the state since 1967.
Time now for a check of the forecast with First Alert Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Hutch?
Well, we have the wind still blowing pretty strongly down at the Dakota Magic Casino. All the flags standing out with those winds still from the southeasterly direction, keeping us fairly mild. Our chance of rain is going to really increase as we go through the overnight tonight and into the day tomorrow in particular. And we'll have at least a chance of some spotty showers throughout the upcoming 7 days. We have 50s up in the Langdon area, 69 in Fargo-Moorhead, and 80 in Aberdeen. Quite a range of temperatures still at this hour of the night. Most of the rain Winnipeg and points north, where it's moderate to heavy, where we see the yellows. As we take a look at the regional picture, there is some rain showers way down here in South Dakota, a couple lightning strikes here and there. This is heading in our direction, but when will it arrive? Let me get you the basics here. Well, right off the bat, southeast winds will continue to be breezy. There'll be a chance of showers along the international border. Nothing too heavy till we cross the midnight hour, and maybe even after 1 for many of us. Moving up from South Dakota, here comes that wave. As we go into the overnight hours towards your morning, it'll be making its way through Fargo-Moorhead and Lakes Country. Notice along the international border, Highway 2 and points north, also a chance of some rumbles of thunder there. I don't anticipate severe weather overnight. Some small hail will be possible, but certainly be a couple different areas of development overnight. We'll have details on what we can expect on Thursday, and I'll give you a hint. It's more rain for some. Details coming up.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Hutch.
New tonight, police in Fergus Falls are asking for your help in finding the two people on your screen. They say they were involved in an attempted burglary of a business on the southeast side of town. The two are said to have run off when approached by law enforcement. Anyone with information should call the Otter Tail County Sheriff's Office.
The search is now over for the man wanted in connection to a body found by police in downtown Fargo last month. 58-year-old Roberto Garcia was arrested in St. Paul today on manslaughter charges for his involvement in the death of a 53-year-old man. Garcia was arrested by the North Star Fugitive Task Force. He is now in the U.S. Marshal's custody. Final arguments are set for tomorrow in the murder trial surrounding the death of a teen. Today, the defense for Arthur Cawley rested its case. He is the man accused of brutally attacking 14-year-old Jupiter Paulson. She died in a Fargo parking lot last summer. Cawley's sister and mental health professionals today testified that he has been dealing with mental health issues for quite some time.
Noticed that he was talking to somebody that wasn't there. Auditory hallucinations maybe that he was responding to.
Closing arguments again will start tomorrow morning at 9 before the case is handed over to jurors.
One man is in the Clay County Jail tonight after a fight ended with shots fired in South Moorhead. 37-year-old Adil Hussein is facing charges of obstructing the legal process. Moorhead police were called to the 3000 block of 18th Street South for a possible gunshot. Police say they had to break up a fight between Hussein and another man. They also found a gun on the ground near them. No one was hurt and no property was damaged. A
Williston man was arrested after leading multiple agencies on a chase last night. West Fargo police tried to pull over 48-year-old Sean Gulusha around 11:30 near Cheyenne High School. Took off into Cass County, where deputies stopped the car with spikes on a gravel road. He then ran into a field. Officers used a drone to find him. He's now facing multiple charges, including fleeing and a parole violation.
We now know the name of the man who died in yesterday morning's crash near Thompson. He's 42-year-old Thomas McWaters from Crookston. He was killed when a vehicle crossed the center line on 6th Avenue Northeast and hit him head-on. The driver of that vehicle, 20-year-old Tyson Horton from Fertile, Minnesota, was not hurt. Highway Patrol is still investigating.
New tonight, many local restaurants continue to deal with staffing shortages. Restaurant Johnny Carino's just announced they are closing their doors for good yesterday.
Valley News Team's Kellen Harmon spoke with restaurants about how frightening these closures are for themselves and their staff.
There's a shrinking number of options for date night, birthday dinners, or night out as a growing number of restaurants and bars close amid struggles of inflation and worker shortages. According to North Dakota Job Service, there's 296 openings for food preparation in the southeastern region of the state. However, they also say that the food service industry is notoriously underrepresented, as most job listings are from signs or word of mouth.
I see a lot of places are hiring. I just don't understand how people don't want to work. They got to a point here where we have to close the kitchen early, are not open on certain days.
The cutbacks made from staffing shortages are making establishments nervous of the worst-case scenario they're seeing in their neighbors. However, others closing also leaves a potential opportunity to bolster their own ranks.
I was just talking with somebody about going to eat at Carino's the other day, and then a couple days later you're seeing it on social media and you're kind of hearing it through the grapevine, and one of the first things you're thinking is we got to try and get a hold of some of that staff. Everybody's kind of peeking over the fence because, you know, we're short in the kitchen, and if they got people who are looking for a job, we'd love to have them come walking through our door.
And while restaurants are making do with what they have, it's a constant worry that one day they won't.
We had a pretty rough couple of months. You kind of start to get out of it and see things going in the right direction. It's like, geez, maybe this won't last forever, but then it only takes one person who decides they're not going to show up for work or they want to move on to something else, and you feel like you're going underwater again.
Reporting in Fargo, Kellen Harmon, Valley News Live.
Kitchen staff we spoke with today say it's common for a new hire to work their first day and then never show up again.
New tonight, the post office on Main Street in Fergus may soon be named the John Glavy Post Office. The House passed a bill that honors the life of the town's mail carrier for 36 years, left a remarkable impact on the community. He passed away unexpectedly in 2016 at the age of 66.
This bill appropriately names the post office after John to honor his service to his neighbors and to the local area. In a letter, his family noted that since the bill's introduction, the outpouring of support from those who live in the Fergus area has been overwhelming.
John's son-in-law and grandchildren were able to watch the House vote from a gallery.
Also new tonight, 155 North Dakota National Guard members were honored in a send-off ceremony today. The soldiers from the Fargo-based 191st Military Police Company come from 35 communities across North and South Dakota and Minnesota. They'll be deployed overseas for a year-long mission in support of the U.S. Central Command's Operation Spartan Shield in Southwest Asia. 30 soldiers from this same unit served at Guantanamo Bay in 2012. Many also served in Iraq.
Right now, Queen Elizabeth lies in state in England. Still ahead, we'll hear from people waiting in line for hours to pay their respects.
And some rain in the forecast. Some areas getting pretty dry after it's been a little stretch. Some thunder and lightning is on the way for the overnight hours. We'll track this and have a look at that forecast for the weekend, which has been adjusted, coming up right after this.